The doors being closed, which I've been told is the sign to announce some new speakers. But first, I do want to reiterate that we'll have executive board roundtables. That if you do want to sign up, you can still do that at the front, at the desk where you got your badge. The roundtables are after lunch. So if you're interested, just go for it. You do need to sign. With that said, we're going to look at what Sebastian and Alex want to talk about, which is going a bit more in depth about Axoniq Platform. Especially Alex has been helping us out actually the last months with building that platform for you. So I'm very confident they can do a great showcase and go in a lot more detail, a lot more depth than Mitchell, Milan, and I just could. So with that, round of applause for Sebastian and Alex, please.
Thanks a lot for having me. I think I'm loud enough or not. Maybe I will try to be not too loud, by the way. It's like this, that I'm a first timer here at the conference. I've never been here, actually. For whatever reason, my colleagues already been here 4 times and told me a bunch of stuff, cool stories, cool people met, interesting ideas exchanged. So I hope that afterwards we can also come together and meet a bunch of new people and talk about the stuff that we're also presenting. And the stuff that we're presenting is something that it's important to me because we struggle a lot sometimes with software development as a software development company for almost 25 years on certain topics. And I feel like this is now the way to go for us to solve exactly those. And it's about the Axoniq platform, of course. The topic that we have today is keeping humans in the loop, the new source of truth. And it's similar to what Jessica already mentioned, the single point of truth, source of truth. And we all mean in information technology code by that. And Alad said something like data in context, the basis for event sourcing. And I feel like if I view code as a full context, it's sometimes for software projects not sufficient. We need more information than this that are reliable and up to date. And for this, I want to have a different angle on the whole thing. We will go deeper into the Axoniq platform than before. We had a strategic overview, then a glimpse into the tool, and now we have a specific domain, a client that we have actually that I'm really excited to talk about because we're allowed to go deep into this domain where we did an event model and compare it to the Axon platform. So bear with me 1 second. We'll start off, of course, with who are we? My name is Sebastian. I'm CEO of Open200 for now 4 years. This is my colleague Alex. He's an architect and working with Axoniq for the last couple of months on this new platform. We're part of the Open Force group, a group that tries to do good things in this world, a positive impact on society through future-driven business models and software, which is a check on a value basis. And honorable mentions, OpenDev's PIM company are also companies in this group that we work with that provide freelancers, senior freelancers, and PIM company product information systems, dealing with data in e-commerce space. We have almost 25 years of existence already. It's 24, but I round it up because it looks so nice. So sorry for this. and I can reuse this now for 1.5 years, which is also amazing. So sorry for that. And we have partnered with Axoniq as the first Austrian partner, so by definition the longest lasting, also with Auto, a company US-based that tries to wrap event modeling more easily, make it to code and play it back again. And we also launched event sourcing meetup Vienna this year, which I'm very proud of. We do custom software, Keycloak, and of course we focused on event sourcing as you see already. And we're in a bunch of different industries. And I'm sorry, it's very cluttered, but I somehow like this slide. We love different industries. We don't want to focus on specific ones like insurance and energy and so on, because we love to do this diversity actually. And with event modeling and sourcing and so on, we really enjoy that. But enough of that. No worries, next slides are not that packed. But on that note, with the industries, we have something new, and that's the topic that we want to strive on, the new client that we have, that we're actually proud about, and I never thought about to have as a client and as a business to work with. It's sleep on time. Sleep on time is kind of like, you can imagine an Airbnb for truck drivers. Truck driving, interesting. And you won't find much if you search for it right now, because it's really brand new. We started working with them 2 months ago, actually, did an event model with them, and now are in a long-term partnership, investment secured for this. And Sleep on Time provides containers fully equipped with beds, with TV, with coffee machine, washing possibility, sanitary stuff, for truck drivers on a highway on these pull-ins. Because the issue is, with truck drivers, you have this long-distance travel, right? On the highways across all Europe. And the issue is you get tired sometimes. But you're pressured from the business model standpoint to just go through it and reach the destination as fast as you can. So what are you doing? You pull up to a hotel, which is expensive and takes time, or, as we all seen this multiple times in these pull-ins, truck by truck, staying in there and sleeping in their cabin. But the issue with that is there are regulatory issues with that on a European level, that you're not allowed to do that, actually. It's not enforced right now, but it's getting more executed year by year. So this option is not the best one anymore. So the solution is, these containers are a fraction of the price of hotels. You can stack them on those highway pull-ins and parking lots, so that truck drivers can just book 4 hours, take a nap, and go back to work. Okay? We build a consumer app, customer-facing app for this, or for the truck drivers at least. Of course, Airbnb for truck drivers, they need to book something. It's, for example, multi-client. You have franchisees, partners, like facility managers that need to be organized. And we started with event modeling. Why? Because Axoniq Stack as a basis and event sourcing as a basis, because it's kind of like a greenfield project, which is amazing. So we start with that. So Alex, you're going to show us a little bit more about the event modeling that we did. I'm sorry, it's maybe not the best example that we have, right? It's the most recent one, but we wanted to show you this to you because that's now relevant, and compare it afterwards, after I talked about some issues we had with that, about the Axoniq platform.
Thank you, Sebastian. Let's have a look at the user journeys that we have discovered with our customers. First, let's walk through the check-in and check-out process. We will assume that the guest has already successfully booked a container, and the reservation is visible on the booking overview page. The guest has now the option to obtain the booking. This will notify an external system called CESA to generate the locking system access key, and at the same time the booking overview page is updated and the guest can open the door. After that, it will produce 2 events behind the scenes. A door opening requested event, which sends an action again to CESA to unlock the door, and besides that, another event, the guest checked in event, to update again the status on the booking overview page. After that, when the guest has had a pleasant stay, he can check out from the container, which will withdraw the locking system access key again from the guest's smartphone, and the booking overview page is once again updated. Of course, in any user journeys, things can go wrong, right? So let's have a look at the alternative flows and how our system handles potential issues to ensure a good user experience. What if a guest tries to obtain a room, but another guest never left it? To prevent CESA from granting access to 2 different guests for the same container, our system must throw a container occupied exception. Another scenario is when a guest has had a pleasant stay, checked out from their container, and the access key was successfully revoked. If they later try to open the container door, they do not have access anymore to the container. And our system must trigger a guest already checked out exception. The last failure that we can have is when the guest tries to check out from the container, but they never checked into. If that happens, the system throws a guest never checked in exception. Another important journey is the issue management. So guests need to report defects or issues to the property owner. When a defect is reported, we trigger an automation that notifies the property owner. He gets a notification and an issue will be created on the issue board. Next, to simplify this now, the property owner can decide to block the container, the credit is refunded back to the guest, and all reservations from the container are cancelled. We also have here alternatives. So what if a guest tries to report a defect for container they never checked into? Perhaps they booked a container but never completed the check-in process. In this scenario, the system will deny the request and throws a container not obtained exception. Another one is when the property owner attempts to block a container that is already blocked. The system will throw a container is already blocked exception.
Just let me look how much time we already spent. Okay. So just to be clear, it's not about issues with the concept of event modeling or the methodology. It's about the organizational part. Because what you saw is just a fraction of what we more did, and because we had so many sessions and also afterwards we keep working with them. But on an organizational level, we have several things that I'm not very happy about and actually despise a lot. And it's meetings, by the way. We had 5 workshops or meetings, because not all of them were workshops, but for me, everything that goes 2 hours or beyond, it's like a workshop actually. And it was difficult because it's messy with clients, right? So every time they're so individual, and I don't mean this in a romantic way, like everyone is special and whatever, but with clients, everyone is different from a knowledge standpoint, in a different phase of the company with different technology and so on. And in this case, for whatever reason, we started off with 3 hours, then we had a 2-hour session, then a next one over 1.5 months. So 5 times meetings. Then multiple calls and mails, of course, why not? And 4 internal people were involved in that, and 3 on the client side. And again, I really despise meetings. I don't want to see them, and it doesn't occur to me why we need to be that inefficient in that way. And I don't feel like the right way to do it to have one engineer doing the whole pre-sale stuff. Because as a grown company, or after so many years, I want people to identify with the project from the beginning. And I want resiliency. I want, it happens that someone gets sick or is on vacation and whatever, so you need to involve more people. And I don't want technology, us, to dictate something. We want our culture to be cultivated and enhanced by technology. So I want 3 people at least involved in somehow of the project. So, but it was like this in this case. And we tried not to, but whatever. And I don't think ideally, workshops are the solution to make them more efficient or whatever, because for me at least, and I'm sorry if someone is bothered by this, but workshops are fancy meetings that just give us more value than creates value to the customer. And sometimes it's not like this, but in most cases. And the second thing is processes are also not the solution, ideally, because we tried that multiple times to have forms written out, what questions and whatever, and follow through a guide. The moment you have a process, things get slow. The moment you have a process in place, right around the corner there is an edge case and you need to adapt to that. And I don't want that. I want a playbook, a place where engineers and business people come together to build something together, a context where we create value to the customer in the end. So now to the part where we show again the Axoniq platform more deeply with this domain knowledge, how to keep humans in the loop. In that meaning, imagine having this as a buddy from the first meeting on that you have with the client, an organic discussion that you have with someone, And someone of you can open this up already working with this tool and providing value, and maybe in the end of the first or second session you already have something to show that is valuable to the customer but also to your team. So that's the idea behind it.
Okay, so now let's switch to the Axoniq Platform. So now that we have mapped out and analyzed the key user journeys from our customer, we will translate that knowledge into the prompt. So first we will describe what we want to build. We want to have a booking platform. We describe our external action called CESA, which is a locking system access key. And then we will describe the user roles from our system. So we have a guest user role, we have the property owner, and we also describe the specific actions. For instance, how a guest completes the check-in and check-out process and how they can report issues through the system. Next, when
we're using Claude Sonnet 4.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're not that, yeah.
We are not living on the edge, so.
In this case, not.
So once the title is set, the system provides us two options. We can change the title, but we can also change the icon. After that, we have the option to go directly to the journeys, or we can also choose to figure out the requirements, as we have seen earlier. At each step, you have the flexibility to choose from three options, or if none of those quite fit, you can also enter your own answer. At any point in time, you can also decide to complete the interview, but even though it's recommended to get at least a value of 80% so that the AI can understand your requirements properly. Now we will switch to an already prepared version from our example. So let's walk first to the check-in process. As you can see, the system shows different steps and highlights also or uses different colors. For example, the green color shows queries, the blue indicates command handlers, the orange one represents business events, and the violets are external actions from our system. The process begins when the guest opens the booking overview, sends a command to obtain the container, and in response, a container obtained event is applied, which triggers a request to CESA to send a locking system access key. If we compare now these steps to our original example, we notice that the system is missing an event between steps 7 and 8. Ideally, the door unlocking should not happen immediately after the command, but we would like to have an intermediate event. We can address it by opening the development agent and type in our prompt.
And this is also something that I can imagine if in a meeting where we already ask questions and stuff like this, someone can just adapt to exactly those answers that you were given. So you simply don't need to document afterwards stuff or change something. You just input it in here. So you have it already.
So we instructed the AI that we would like to have an intermediate step called door opening requested. And let's see if he's able to fix our journey. Now he has added a new step, step 8, and it was correctly identified as a business event. The journey seems now to be okay, but if you can remember, we also covered previously the alternative flows, and the system hasn't detected any, but that's also not an issue. We can just click on the suggest new button and instruct the system again to add another flow. Now the system has added a new alternative flow and also identified correctly step 4 as an exception. Let's have another one where we basically define that the guest needs to open a container door.
By the way, while you're already doing this, maybe Stephen, quick question. This is public, right? So we share this on this public, yeah? So you see all those steps in there. So if you afterwards, because it's so hard to read, right? And I can read it for you while he's typing, but you can look into this afterwards. So with this specific domain knowledge and what you are typing, so you have access to that the moment you get onto the platform, which is actually nice, yeah.
Yeah, so, and now we have added a second alternative flow and also the exception was identified correctly. After that, when everything seems to be okay, we can approve it and can go to the next one. I mean, that's quite similar, so we can add new alternative flows or just approve it. The last journey is the view issue board. And since that's not particularly useful for us, we can also decide to remove that journey. So we can type in again our instruction. On the other hand, if you realize that the journey is missing, you can do the same thing. You can type again your instruction. So create a new journey. So we would like to have a journey where the guest can report also an issue. The system identifies now all the steps and also the alternative flows for us. Now let's move to the next phase. So we need to approve all the journeys before we can do that. Now as we moved into the component phase, we need to wait some time till the components are generated. For example, we have here commands, queries, and external actions. When we open one of the commands, we see a list of command handlers here that the system has identified. For each handler, the system shows us the exact command that needs to be dispatched in order to trigger it. On the right-hand side, it provides us additional insights, such as the expected response, the events that are applied, but also the potential exceptions that we have defined earlier in the alternative flows. So looking now at the properties tab, the system identifies also the properties of the message, assigns a specific type, and also the properties can also be marked with a tag. That's especially important in Axoniq Framework 5, as they are used to build up the state. So scrolling further down now, we also have here the related journeys. The system highlights the exact steps that was used to identify these handlers. Now let's see how we can refine this message interactively to the chat interface again. We open again the development agent and type in our prompt. Yeah. So we would like to have a new field called data, and it should be added to open container door. The system added now the property and assigned the type string and marked it as nullable. If the type was not identified correctly, we can also add a follow-up instruction to change the type. So should be required, and the type we would like to have an integer, and it should be required. And the system will change it properly. Now let's go to a query. For the queries, the system has identified the query handlers, which are responsible for retrieving data from the system. And once again, we can modify them through simple instructions. We go again to the chat window and type again add a new query handler. Let's call it find all, and he should add it to the booking overview. Yeah, there's a typo. Okay, and now it was added as and assigned as a new query handler. But we can also decide to remove the query handler. And also there I describe all the steps that he changed. Now when we approve all the components, we can go now to the next step in the code stage. So as already mentioned by Mitchell, we have here several options. We support for now Kotlin in combination with Spring Boot, but more options are planned in the future. So once you accept the configuration, the code, the system will generate the code for you, and each component automatically, and then compiles it to ensure there are no syntax errors. And finally, when your project is ready, you can also share the project.
Awesome. Okay. So with this, I really hope to bring business people and tech people together in a place where we don't have that much meetings, don't have that much documentation that it's needed to take place. No one likes this. And being able to work more asynchronously also with the clients together in real time to just reduce the time between the first meeting that we have on a pre-sale sense to the execution part that is actually the fun part. I know AI will transform also this, but till this day, we want to reduce this time span to start building value to clients, to the products that we build, and so on. And I think with that, it's really possible. And with the Axoniq platform, we will invest heavily in that to try it out with the customer. We try to compare it already with situations that we have, not just greenfield projects, but also long-lasting customers that already have a code base, already have systems in place, and how this works. But as a business analyst or product owner, as a buddy, development buddy that we can use for all purposes to internally better communicate with ourselves, but also to the client, the value that we actually bring to them. So that's basically it. I hope you can get something out of that, or maybe be a bit inspired to try it out even sooner and implement this in your companies. In the end, I have a QR code, very mysterious. What is behind it? It's not the website. We're not in 2015. We don't need to put the website there. It's actually a video of Alad and myself where I interviewed him half a year ago. And there were no talks about the Axoniq platform. I mean, you thought about this, of course, and it was long-lasting, the whole thing, but it wasn't that concrete. And I rewatched it, and we start off exactly with that, what we presented to you. Some ideas that we presented right now, we already have exchanged and had in his mind without naming the name, right? And this was like a time capsule. So if you would like to see it, here is the link to the YouTube video. It's pretty long, but in the beginning it's already stuff that we showed you here and ideas that he shared. So I hope you enjoy that, and thank you very much. That was it. So, yeah. questions? Yes. I can give you the mic, by the way.
Yeah, exciting presentations, and also it showcases the power of this platform. My question is the disconnect between code and documentation. Is this somehow version controlled under Git, the whole thing? And does it live with the code, or are these still separate from each other?
At the moment, it's not versionized, but I think that's really planned for the future.
Should be straightforward. AI can do.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So thanks for the question. The interesting part here is it's just in the beginning, right? So you just started really out with that. So the moment we start using it, we also maybe change a little bit of the trajectory, and with feedback that you get. So good question. This is just the beginning, and it's already working, as you see, as a buddy.
Okay, thank you. Well, beautiful presentation. By the way, I want to ask one thing that is really related to your question, and it is there is a non-determinism in the AI, like in these LLMs. How often because you are the users of the platform, so you have the experience. How often does it happen that you have to go back, that you say, okay, you are crazy? You know, when I work with LLMs, it happened to me that sometimes I like really see that he is already lost, and any massage like saying, okay, don't do this, and ends up in more and more nonsense. So do you have some option of pedal back, and how it works? What is your experience? Is it 90%, 99, 95, 70? What's your experience?
It always depends how good you have described your requirements and how you did the interview process. So if you get a high value, it's most likely that the AI can understand your requirements more properly. But as it is, it can always happen that it does not do it the right way, and you have to instruct them. But you can always revise the journey and change it.
And I think the risk here that at least I'm thinking about is not even the communication part with people. Yeah, sorry. Yes, you're right. For other reasons. Yeah, I can. Not only that, talking to people is already sometimes confusing and complicated, because not everyone can share their ideas properly as they should be doing. AI is not perfect too, so maybe this combination is difficult sometimes and even enhances the problem. But it feels like if we're precise enough and get the hang of it, and also with feedback and so on, have some boundaries in that and more context delivered that they can work with, maybe this is even a solution to the first problem. So it seems to be working out actually really well. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. This is an exciting session. I see like you guys talked about the Greenfield project and being the user of this platform. So what is your experience with a project which already has a code base?
I myself haven't tested this out yet, because the thing is it's new, right? So we couldn't figure out everything because it's released today, and we just did that for the presentation. Have you actually looked into this to a certain degree on projects that we already are long-lasting? I don't think so, right?
I don't.
So that's a good question. That's certainly the next thing. Sorry, there you are. Certainly the next thing that we're going to do, because there are very hindrances that we need to overcome there for sure. So Greenfield is easier. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, a second mic. Awesome. I mean, I sit around all the time, so it's not that bad that I need to run, but...
Yeah, I had the same question, because
yeah.
normally you have a code base and then you want to evolve the software, so
yes,
there are no new features and so on. And yeah, do you think about integrating it into an IDE or something like that, or shall it always be that separate on the website?
Maybe it's a question for you. Because you know we can talk about stuff from Axoniq now. That detail, maybe just to not be wrong on stuff. So Steven.
Yeah, we've definitely been talking about changing the Axoniq, the plugin we have currently for IntelliJ, for example. Yeah, but we have not been starting the planning phases of that yet, due to getting this done, getting framework done, and all the work. But it's the thought paths are across our minds. Yeah, for sure.
The thing that we try for sure is with our clients right now to get together business and technology, right? So all those people involved in that to somehow bring them to that place and work together with that, maybe solely with that we get the experience how this would look like then in a already existing legacy project, whatever. But yeah, we'll try it out. Thanks. If there are no questions.